What's up, guys? In today's video, we're gonna talk about the top 5 things you need to do before heading to your first ever drag race. Stay tuned. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is hit the ATM. I've never ever been to a racetrack that's accepted plastic, so you're gonna wanna make sure you have some cash before you get to the gate. Also think about bringing yourself some kind of a yard chair. Sure, there's plenty of seating and places to sit at the racetrack, but you gotta think there might be like a 2-hour oil down or something like that, so you might wanna get comfortable. So bring yourself one of those like really cool reclining yard chair things. Those things are awesome. Someone should get me one of those. The last thing to remember to take to the racetrack, of course, is some snacks. Racetrack food is expensive everywhere, at all of them. You can't afford to eat at the concession stand all day, especially if you plan on spending the whole day at the racetrack. You don't want to be going to the concession stand and spending $5, $6, $7, $8 every single time you get the hankering for a Thunderdog. This windshield is so dusty I can't even see out of it. I mentioned last time how much neglect this particular car has been getting. I don't remember the last time I've had it out of the garage, so I set myself a goal today to get it out of the garage and to get it cleaned up. So that's what we're doing here today. And I'll tell you what, the weather is starting to come around, and it's not sunshine or anything like that, but holy smokes, I can deal with these sort of temperatures. So much mud in the bottom of this car wash. I thought my car was gonna bottom out on it. This is crazy. This is, like, I guess, what you get when you live in Swampville, flooded South Dakota. Muddy car wash. Alright, so the second thing you need to do before going to your first drag race is to watch and learn. Now, I'm sure you guys have watched plenty of drag racing on TV or even on YouTube, hopefully on this channel. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the actual mechanics of the whole race day throughout. It's going to be very beneficial for you to go to a drag race before you go to drag race. What I mean is you got to understand the whole event. How do the announcers call cars to the lanes? How many times do they call cars to the lanes? How much time do you have between the first call and when you actually need to be on the track? How are the staging directors pulling cars out of the lanes? What are the hand signals? How are people pulling into the burnout box? How far are they pulling people into the burnout box? Pay attention to those things so that you understand what to do when you're actually behind the wheel. A huge thing to pay attention to is how people are staging their cars. Staging is something that I see so many people mess up, especially their first time down at the racetrack. I'll leave a link to another video in the description below where I talk a lot more about your first pass down the track and all the mechanics of it and staging the car, doing a burnout, all of that kind of stuff covered in much more detail. Click the card up above or check the link in the description below if you want to check that out. Go to a race and check out how everything works. Understand that kind of stuff before you go to the racetrack to actually race for the very first time. Number 3 is to start with a full day of test and tune. There's a learning curve that goes along with everything, and drag racing is no exception. Even if you're racing your daily driver and you're like, bro,
I don't need no practice. I know how to drive my car, bro.
You might think that practice sounds ridiculous, but there's so much to learn and there's so much to get the hang of. You'll need to practice launching your car off the line consistently and quickly if you want any shot at success in drag racing. This is true if you plan on doing local bracket races, or if you're just gonna grudge match your buddy, you definitely gotta get this starting line game figured out. Test and tune is also a good opportunity for you to learn more about your car. Everybody wants to make their car go faster, and they want to change things and make it quicker and learn more and get better and go faster. Test and tune is the perfect opportunity for that. If you're looking to get the absolute max performance out of your vehicle, you're gonna wanna spend your time at test and tune before actually entering a race. If you're wanting to mess with tire pressure or shift points or launch RPM or anything at all on the car, you need to be entering into test and tune and at least get a full day of test and tune under your belt before you even consider entering into an actual race. Number 4, prepare for the worst. Bad things do happen at the track sometimes. There's often times where I see cars getting towed off and they can't make it home. So prepare for the worst. Make sure you have a backup plan to get home that night if something should happen to your car, break down, or you crash, or bad things can happen. Seems simple, but it's just something to think about. Find someone with a trailer, be nice to them, become their friend, and then put them in your speed dial. And that brings us to number 5. It's just too nice to not come outside. Number 5 is really simple, but it's the most important. Be nice and just have fun. Go and get to know some new people. Strolling around the pits at the racetrack is like half of the fun of going to the racetrack. So get out there and make some new friends. Along with that, you need to be respectful to both the track facility and the other racers. So don't do things like dumping out your cooler and then all the water runs to someone else's pit space. If there's reserved pit spaces at the racetrack, make sure you're not parking in someone else's reserved pit space. You might think that your car sounds amazing, like your vehicle is the most gnarliest sounding thing ever. That doesn't mean you need to drive through the pits all the way back to your pit space just revving the subscribe out of it all the way through the pits. People are just gonna get annoyed with you. So be respectful to other people who are down at the track camping, having a great weekend. Understand the track culture and get along with the people down there, track facility and other racers. Have a good time, make some new friends. That's what it's all about at the racetrack. You might think that everybody at the racetrack is just so competitive that nobody's gonna wanna talk to you, nobody's gonna wanna help you. That couldn't be further from the truth. Drag racers are kind of a rare breed. They're competitive, but very, very helpful. So don't be shy, go say hi, make some friends at the drag strip. All right guys, that's gonna bring us to the end of another video. But before we go, I'm gonna bring in someone with over 3 years of racetrack experience, just to give you a quick review.
Number 1, get your cash, sack some snacks, and bring a tail. Number 2, watch Amber. Number 3, test and tune. Number 4, prepare for the worst. Number 5, be nice and have fun.
Or if you're just gonna grudge your mat, or if you're just gonna grudge, if you're looking to get the, if you want, garlic! We have garlic? Did that look cool? Did that look cool or what? So cool! Can you shred some cheese for these hogs? Need cheese! I'll scramble them up and then I'll get yours out of there and then I'll continue with making things awesome. Why are some eggs brown and some eggs white? Dang, I got some shell in there! Oh, jeez.
Right?
Yes. Not enough berries. So grippy, what? God dang it! That car sounded like Amanda's. People are going to be very helpful